Do I feel good today? What is up, universe? Welcome into your daily sports and sports betting brand of record. We are live every single weekday on Stadium all over this wonderful country of ours, on Amazon Prime, on YouTube TV, Roku TV, the Stadium app, watchstadium.com. Also, for all of you OGs out there that like to chat, that like to talk, also, you can watch on our YouTube page and just chat along on your way in. If you don't mind, hit that like button for it. It really helps the show grow. Now, we're coming off a fantastic weekend at the Brand, but also a fun weekend just to be a football fan. This is what we did yesterday. If you watched the morning show, not bad. Big Chuck, 4 out of 5. My man AB, 3 out of 4. Your boy, 3 out of 4. That's how we get down on Sunday mornings here at Driving the Line. Now, we've got content all over the board. I mean, all over the board. So the easiest thing to do, follow all my guys on social media. Then subscribe to our channels. Turn on your notifications. Every time we start a show, ding, you get notified. Now, we also have a fresh podcast every single weekday. It drops around 2 p.m. Eastern time. Fresh. And also for your premium members, you get the video in the afternoon. Now, my partner every single day, and he's already working. He's already in it, and he's wearing a hat of a team that last night, AB, they covered your over by themselves. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Yep, they sure did, man. Dodgers look great. Mookie Betts, that was a clutch, bases loaded, base clearing double to get to 9-0. Zach of a game, man. The Dodgers now 33 straight scoreless innings in the postseason. How about that?
Crazy. The pitching, which wasn't really that great during the regular season, is really starting to step up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, think about how the Padres started. Everybody thought the Dodgers were done. Mm-hmm. The Padres, Fernando Tatis was just dropping bombs everywhere. And then it was like, no, we're going to shut that down. So that's what they've done.
Well, we'll see if the Mets can do anything today. As always, our good friend Howie Schwab is always looking down on us. And every show that we do, we have a Howie Schwab crew play of the day. AB, what are our choices today?
Yep, Howie Schwab, man, looking great there. And he would agree with our team golden boot in the chat. It's Bama hate week. There we go. All right, Bills -1, Jets +1. Bills, Jets over 40.5. Bills, Jets under 40.5. Polls in the chat, vote now, and we'll update as we always do at the end of the show.
No doubt about it. Do not forget, we are live tonight also on Stadium at 7 p.m. Eastern time with DTL Primetime Live, getting you set for the Bills and the Jets and a couple of quarterbacks that are very much hobbled going into tonight's game. Also, do not forget, if you missed the morning show, we replay on Stadium at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But we got a lot to get to. On the weekdays, we do everything in the A's. The picks, the props, and I got the best crew in the business. It's time for the picks. Let's go. Oh, I got Amazon Prime on the big screen right to my left. AB looks amazing. I look amazing. Big Chuck and Raphael look amazing as well. Gentlemen, a great weekend. Well done on the handicapping. I guess since you went 4 out of 5. Big Chuck, you get our 15 seconds. What's good?
Morning, Coach, crew. Yeah, pretty nice Sunday. No complaints, especially in the NFL, knowing how tough it is. So happy that we were able to end the week on a positive note, ready to get this one started.
If you were on the Giants last night, wow, 3rd and 10, and you're sitting there 10-7, and then they complete the pass and then the long run for the touchdown, that had to hurt if you're on the Giants plus the 3.5. My numbers guy, always, and don't forget, end of the show, we always have our stat of the day. Raphael, good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Yes, I was one of those ones that actually bet live at +4.5 on the Giants. So how am I feeling right now?
No.
I am feeling great right now. So I took one right in the growing last night as that play was occurring in front of my eyes.
Oh, God, it's the worst, the absolute worst. Everybody's up on the line of scrimmage. They break through, and it's all over. All right, before we get to the picks, there was a lot yesterday that if you guys missed it or you didn't know what the numbers were, the totals, so much. And AB, everybody was talking. We were live on the air last night on Primetime Live for the Lions and the Cowboys, and the Lions damn near hit the over by themselves, and the Cowboys are in a shambles this morning.
Well, they're in a shamble. This is what happens, man. Can't run the football. All right, can't stop the run. But here's the bigger problem. The NFL's getting to a situation to where I don't care. Like, how good you are as a quarterback unless you're Mahomes or like two other guys. I can't afford to pay you. You take up too much of the salary cap, right? And the worst thing in the NFL is to have a quarterback that's just good enough to make big money. That's the worst thing in the NFL, man.
And then you're forced to pay him $50 million plus.
Yeah, and that's not a you're right. And like that's not a shot at Dak. Okay. I like Dak Prescott. Okay. But there's just only so much money to go around. And then you pay a wide receiver, then you got defensive players. It's brutal, man. It's really, really difficult when you're paying a quarterback primetime money, man. It's just hard.
And they're never going to say, yeah, I'll give some back like Tom Brady used to do. But Big Chuck, to AB's point, it wasn't that long ago that 30 to 35 was an A-list quarterback. Then they raise the salary cap. Naturally, the quarterbacks say, you know what? And it's worked. They forced these owners and Jerry Jones 5 hours before the first game. And now Dak, horrible yesterday. And the Cowboys at 3-3, they've given up at least 28 in all three and over 40 in two of their home games. And the Lions also, we'll talk about it later in Educate and Entertain, they lose their best defensive player, but they look like right now a Super Bowl favorite after they demolished the Cowboys yesterday.
Yeah, who would have thunk it? The Cowboys are not competitive now that Dak took the max, CD took the max, not able to spread it out. And I keep saying just don't have to worry about the upfront money, just get it on the back end, but they just refuse to do that. So, I mean, that back end money will last you for years, but now everyone wants everything up front. You see what happens. And it's crazy that the Cowboys now at home, it's flipped. Last year, they were unbeatable at home. Now they're road warriors this season. So crazy how a year changes everything. But we kind of had a feeling that the Cowboys would have their issues coming into the season, not replenishing that roster.
3 of the 4 NFC East teams lose yesterday. The Eagles, the only one to win, if you call that a W. Then Raphael, another big story was the Saints were up 27-24 at halftime. And then I just kind of turned it away and went and paid attention to everything else. What the hell happened?
Yeah, it's the Eagles doing the Eagles things. I mean, I was going to bring my kid to the podium right now when I did the show because I took the +4.5 like Sirianni did yesterday. But the Eagles are playing like the Eagles, or the Eagles are just playing like that division is playing. So we saw some bad stuff that the Giants did yesterday. We all talked about what the Cowboys have done. That's division. Even at the Commanders lost yesterday, but actually played well. This division is crazy, but Eagles, you got to do something. Maybe he will be the first head coach fired. I don't know what Philly's doing right now.
Raphael, I asked you about the Saints. I didn't ask you about the Eagles.
Hey, I'll answer this for you. Let me tell you this. Taysom Hill is very important. Now, I'm not saying he's one of the best players in the league, but the team is built to have kind of a safety valve at the quarterback position, right? And we've seen, even with Derek Carr in, as soon as Taysom Hill was out, it started going downhill, right? Like, he's a very valuable part of that team, man.
And people in the league talk about it. Like, the casual fan doesn't understand all the stuff that he does. But we had Coach Phil on all last season about how important Taysom Hill was to this team. All right, we're coming off a fantastic day with our picks yesterday. And I think today is going to be more of the same. We've got NFL. We've got soccer. We have playoff baseball. So, AB, big boy, let me come over to you. You got 2 straight plays. Let's start with you, sir. What do we got?
All right, we're going to go Major League Baseball first. Mets, Dodgers over 8. Now, you might be saying to yourself, AB, you just said that the Dodgers haven't given up a run in 33 innings, which is true. All right. But the 1905 Giants did that, and I don't have any kind of a joke for it. I just saw that was the other team that did it. Look, the Mets, man, they're fun, and they hit, and I don't think that it's done. I think that they come out and say, screw it. Just go drop bombs. All right. I think they do that. Now, on the other side, the Dodgers keep hitting too. And Mookie Betts, he's got 3 home runs in his career off Sean Manaea for New York. So I like both sides there. And then tonight, Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers, over 21.5 completions here because, just be honest, he got the coach fired, okay?
Yes,
and he is going to have a game tonight, and he's going to have to do it in the air. So I think that he's going to have completions galore. He'll be throwing short. He'll throw some bombs too. But Aaron, yeah. He'll get over 21.5.
Yeah, 54 attempts he had last week against the Vikings in London. 54 attempts. So all we got to do is get those completions. All right, AB, great start for those 2. I will go because I'll back up that Dodgers play. I think the Dodgers, I looked it up, and they're better against left-handers than they are against right-handers. So I'll take them. I know it's a little juicy, but today I think the juice on a lot of my plays is worth the squeeze. And then the Guardians under 7.5. The Yankees have just proven that not a lot of runs are scored in their series so far in the playoffs, and the Guardians as well. A lot of donuts. Last game went over, but I think with these two today, game one, a lot of nerves. I'll play the under 7.5. Now, a person that probably disagrees with me, Raphael, let me come over to you. Start with your Guardians, and then let's do the other two because we have some day hockey today as well.
Yeah, I'm going to Guardians team total over 3.5. And I know they've been struggling to hit, but their last two games when they eliminated Tigers, they scored 7 runs and 5 runs, and they normally can hit against Yankees. I think this Yankee game is going to be a high-scoring game because the Yankees bats are starting to wake up as well. So I'll take the 3.5 plus a nickel on the Guardians. And then I'm going to the CFL. That's right, CFL on a Monday. That's correct. We're going to the best team, the defending champs, the Montreal Alouettes, -4. Right now it's 4.5. I would still take the 4.5. Best team in football. Yes, I know they clinched the playoff berth and struggled a little bit, but they're playing the Ottawa Redblacks, who've been struggling, losing 3 straight, all by double digits, and have dropped 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. So I'm just fading Ottawa. And then my prop, Taylor Bass, the Buffalo Bills kicker, over 6.5 points, -130, has hit this prop 4 out of 5 games. And kickers are just doing everything lately. They'll probably hit a 70-yard field goal sometime this year to what the kickers have been doing. Last game, he had 8 points against Houston.
All right, I love those 3. What are you doing? What are you doing, AB?
Every time I hear the Alouettes, I think of Chris Berman when he would start singing Alouette, gente, Alouette, Alouette, gente, plumerai.
Oh, God, he's one of my favorites.
I
His
forgot about
office
that.
was right down the hall. He was great. Didn't have a computer, didn't use email. He had the dream life for what we do. Didn't care about anything but the show. It was amazing. All right, Big Chuck, don't have time for a splitter today, big boy. I need all 4 of them right here, right now.
Bosnia versus Hungary. Bosnia matches are averaging 3.5 total goals, and Hungary games are averaging 2.8 total goals on the road. So I have both teams to score in this contest and Bosnia to get a first half goal. I think the Bosnians come out strong. Next, Belgium, France. The Red Devils of Belgium are averaging 2 team goals at home in 2024, while France, they averaged 1.2 team goals during their travels this year. The both teams to score, it let us down the last time they played, but I'm going right back to it with the both teams to score between Belgium and Le Bleu in the Nations League. Lastly, Juan Soto hits, runs, RBIs over 1.5. He has owned Alex Cobb over in his lifetime, 7-for-11 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. I expect him to get at least 2 at-bats versus Cobb, and we go ahead and cash this prop.
Oh, man, I love it when you say Le Bleu, blah, blue. AB's dying over there. Absolutely dying.
It cracked me up when you went to Chuck. You're like, no splitters. We got to get serious. What time is it? And he goes, Bosnia, Hungary.
You never know. That's why we love doing this show. There's no rules, there's no ramifications. It's just fun and funny on a Monday morning.
Hungary.
Oh, I love it. All right, I got 3 big plays, and I'm going to go Josh Allen under 18.5 completions. The last 2 games, he has not reached this number. I think tonight's going to be about a 2.5-hour game. I think it's going to be very, very fast, and I think that the Bills, because of his health, remember, he went down and many people think he had a bad concussion, but all of his numbers are out there, so he will play tonight. Then coming off of AB's play, I back him up with Garrett Wilson. I like his catches, and I like his receiving yards. Last week, he had 13 for over 100. Aaron Rodgers has got to have those over 21.5 completions to somebody. Let's go 5.5 -135 and 60.5 -125. Garrett Wilson is an all-pro talent. That's just who he is. And now we got a new coaching staff coming in tonight. They're going to feed in to the veterans, to the stars, and they're going to be very conservative. He is the guy tonight for Aaron Rodgers. All right, great start to the show. Funny start to the show. We've still got a lot to come. We're talking baseball. We've got educate and entertain. We've got the whip around, the stat of the day. Oh, it's DTL. Set your clock. We are live every single weekday right here on Stadium. Okay, all you degenerates out there that watch on our YouTube page and AB, last night we, in real time, thought, could Mike McCarthy be in trouble after that disaster yesterday? But Jerry Jones, after the game, says he has no plans to make a coaching change right now. Right or wrong?
Right, because there's just no point of blowing it up. I mean, the team is what it is. Look, I don't even put it on Mike McCarthy. All right, I put it on whoever put this roster together. And if Jerry Jones was to look, that's his son, not Mike McCarthy. So, yeah, go ahead and pay attention there, buddy, because this team can't run, can't stop the run. What do you want them to do?
Yeah, all you got to do is sit at the Thanksgiving table and look across and go, oh, you're the reason. I made you a vice president in charge of, well, pretty much everything, Raphael, at the Cowboys right now. And the way Jerry Jones does his interviews after the game, it's like, oh, my God, he's 78 years old, I believe, is how old he is. At some point, he's got to take some accountability.
Yes, it was his birthday, too. He had to watch that game on his birthday.
Oh, jeez.
That had not have been fun. I agree with AB. He's not going to get fired. Mike McCarthy is 15-1 to be the next head coach to be fired. Peterson, Stefanski, Pierce, Allen, they're all ahead of him. Zach Taylor, they're all ahead of him. Either he's there on a one-year contract. The whole staff is. They're not going to get rid of any of the coaches now. They're going to wait till end of the season and try to swing for the fences with a big name like Belichick or somebody else. But McCarthy's there to stay.
Wow, Charles. I mean, if he's there to stay and they have more performances like they had yesterday, there could be some fun Mondays for us, though. Certainly.
Yeah, he's just really playing the cards he was dealt. So, yeah, the Cowboys, they usually stand pat, so I don't believe they'll blow up anything. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised we see some more of these, especially at home. And I'm still amazed at how dysfunctional they are at home. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of this Cowboys season.
Wow. I tell you what, we're through week 6. It feels like we've been through 12 weeks already. And we still have 11 more games to go for most teams in the NFL. The Cowboys have got to figure it out. They're only 3-3. It's not like they're out of the playoff race, but my goodness, they can't play like they played yesterday. No. But what really set us off? Oh, you know what time it is? We're back on Stadium in just 5 seconds. All right, welcome back to everybody watching on Stadium, Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, Roku TV. We love all of you, and also for all of you OGs watching on our YouTube channel. Now, this is the time of the show on Mondays where we're not so positive. It can be funny, it can be fun, but there are a lot of mishaps every single weekend, whether it's in college football or in the NFL. But what really rang with us? AB, my boy, let's start with you. What is your Monday mishap today?
Josh Heupel, head coach, Tennessee Volunteers. Look, the only thing that's changed from day one to today is you. Your play calling. You're seeing ghosts. You're pulling a Nick Sirianni. Your energy is gone. The problem is not Nico. The problem is not the offensive line. It's not the wide receivers. You're not even throwing to Brew McCoy, barely getting it to squirrel right. And do I think that the wide receivers, running backs, and quarterback, all of their numbers went down and they forgot how to play at the same time? No, it's you. You've got to trust your quarterback here, and you have to let him rip. 7 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, 1,300 yards passing, 67% completion percentage. Nico is not the problem. Look, you know who's second in the NFL in interceptions? Patrick Mahomes, okay? Look, that's the way the game is played. Stop being afraid. Trust your offense. Bring the energy back. Okay, score points. You will hammer people. Alabama, you're dealing with the same problem.
Yeah, and they play each other this week. Number 7 against number 11. And AB, they've got the best athlete, and it's not close playing the quarterback position. Why doesn't he let him rip more like what we saw maybe in the first couple of weeks?
He did the same thing last year. All right, Josh Heupel gets nervous, man, and he just starts shutting this thing down. You know what Tennessee doesn't even do anymore? They don't even run fast, right? They're not even the same team. And it's because the coach gets nervous, man, and he gets conservative with his play calling. Don't do it. You've got to trust it, man. You have to trust it because you tell these players, all right? Tell them, signs everywhere, all in. Buddy, you have to be all in.
All right, right now at ESPN Bet, Alabama 2.5 favorites on the road after they damn near lost to South Carolina last week. So right now the SEC, that is all up in the air. The total sitting at 55.5. All right, Monday mishap time for my man Big Chuck. Charles, where are you going today?
I'm going right back to Dallas. I mean, I know we went on it earlier, but it's just dysfunction 101. I mean, they really need to just finally turn over the reins and bring in a real general manager and try to get this team back on track. It's embarrassing sitting here watching this team go through this every year since '96. So yeah, it's just continuous. I'm in the region, so I have to see this and the Saints not getting a qualified backup quarterback. But yeah, still Dak taking all the money. I know he deserves it, but not putting some more on the back end. And then we still have Micah Parsons coming up. CD just got paid. I don't know how they're going to manage that. So yeah, it's really this Cowboys management, payroll structure going forward. So yeah, it's just a mess. I really just think they need to bring someone in, clean house, and let's just really start over with and let the Joneses sit back and let someone qualified just really run the ship.
Yeah, I mean, he does deserve to be a top flight quarterback with $60 million. If he took 50, a $10 million player for that defense that I watched yesterday, that would really, really help them. All right, Raphael, what's your Monday mishap today?
Big Chuck, you might want to mute your mic, maybe take a break, because I'm going to your backyard. Saints, how do you not score a point? Not a field goal, not a safety, not a CFL, 1 point, 0 points in a second half. You played outstanding. You were down quick. You fought back. You were winning at halftime, and you get outscored 27-0 to Baker Mayfield. Every time Baker plays the Saints, he looks like Tom Brady out there throwing dimes, touchdowns. Granted, he threw 3 yesterday, but he also had 4 touchdowns. He's thrown 6 touchdown passes against the Saints himself. I'm sorry, Saints. You should have done better in the second half. I know they blitzed you. There was a rookie quarterback, but 0 points in the second half. Come on.
Wow. And also in that post game press conference, Baker Mayfield throwing some strays out to Texas Longhorn fans as well, who apparently stuck something in the middle of the field after Texas beat Oklahoma. Yeah, what was that, AB?
Yeah,
what was that
all right, so that goes back to Baker. All right, when he beat Texas, he took the Oklahoma flag and planted that beast right there in the middle of the field. Let him know about it. Yeah, look, I love this rivalry for sure, man. And I'll say this, if anybody remembers when Baker was at Oklahoma, they played in Tennessee in Knoxville. I was at that game. It was a double overtime. It was the greatest performance of a college player, up close, that I've ever seen. Baker Mayfield legitimately won that game on his own. I rock with this dude. I like Baker Mayfield. I really
love him.
like this dude.
Yeah, I love him too. I think he's finally found his home mentally, physically. The team loves him. And damn, they scored 51 yesterday, so they looked amazing. All right, my Monday mishap, I'm going to Philadelphia. That's supposed to be the city of brotherly love. Oh, my goodness. How in the world have they gotten here? Last year, Nick Sirianni did this exact thing in Kansas City. To Arrowhead fans, after they beat the Chiefs, they were 10-1. Everything was great coming off the Super Bowl. We're all good. And now they fall off a cliff all off season. Is he done? Can they follow him? And then yesterday, what was that? You beat the Browns by 4. That's kind of a disaster. Deshaun Watson is who he is. But then you go on your own sideline and you yell at your own fans. And when asked about it, he said, I'm tired of the booing. I'm tired of them complaining. Oh, and then you don't want to answer the questions because you bring your kids to the post-game press conference, which would then not have the journalists ask you the tough questions. Very, very smart if you're Sirianni. Very stupid if you're going to yell at your own fan base. AB, I've never seen a coach yell at their own fans. Nick Sirianni, it feels like his time is really counting down despite their win yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't win that fight, right? You can't win it. You just can't, man. And once you start going to that road, dude, you're done. And the problem is him. The problem has been him. It was last year. He did the same thing I just talked about with Josh Heupel. That's why it split the team, because he went conservative and he started sending all kinds of different messages to everybody. And he went to bring the fire. Literally said this week, I'm bringing the fire. It's on me. What did he do? He shaved his head. Not kidding. He shaved his head and almost lost to the Browns.
Well, apparently I bring the fire every day then. If that's what bringing the fire is, I bring the fire every single damn day here on DTL then. Oh, I did it this morning. I got him nice and early, 5 a.m. Looking sweet today.
All right,
Those are our Monday mishaps. Don't forget, we also have Rant Wednesday coming up in a couple of days. All right, today, if you're a baseball fan, my goodness. Raphael, let's look at the numbers first. We got 2 games today. The first one at 4:08 Eastern time. Game 2, Dodgers blanked the Mets last night. They do get the over. They obviously win on the money line. This one has kind of been hovering between minus 140 and minus 150, depending on what book that you use. Your initial thoughts, can the Mets bounce back today?
I would say yes, but the way that pitching in the Dodgers has been going, it just blows my mind. That was my biggest question coming into the playoffs. Can the Dodgers have any time of pitching? Because they have so many pitchers not able to go through the postseason. But wow, now you're having a bullpen a game today, which the bullpen has been lights out as of late. I'm going to see the Dodgers again. Their bats are hot. Otani's getting those key base hits, and we already know about Mookie. I'm going to say keep on with the Dodgers. I think they're for real right now if that pitching can stay hot.
That's exactly why I played the money line. AB, Big Cheesy is going to parlay your play and my play together. That's how confident he is, and I kind of like that parlay.
I do too, right? And I think that the Mets, they understand, yeah, you're on the road and you're going to come back to New York, but you don't want to come back down 0-2. You've got to get one here, especially in a bullpen game. You've got Manaea on the mound. The Mets are going to bring the heat at the plate. But so are the Dodgers, son, because now they're playing with house money, especially if they get this one. So that's why I love the over. It's going to be a really fun baseball game, man. And we get it during the day. How nice is that?
Oh, my gosh. It is. And out here in L.A., the post-game shows on the local channels are about 2 hours long. You get 5 hours of coverage out here. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. You can't see the regular season games, Charles, but you can see the playoff games. And Japan in the chat says, I'm not betting any more baseball. There have been some bad beats, but the Dodgers, the last 4 games, 2 at the Padres, 3 at the Padres, and here, boy, they've looked amazing, Charles.
Yeah, they've looked great. And the Mets, if they're going to get a game, this would be the one that gets the bullpen. But I think just the safest play is just going with the runs. I think that's the if you're going to go with anything, I think we'll see plenty of runs in this one. But yeah, I'm going against the bullpen. If the Mets were to get anyone but the Dodgers, they just found fire. So I'm not wanting to go against them in this spot. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a fun game. I think we're going to see plenty of runs. I think they start early and often. Look at first 5 team totals and player props. Plenty of options in this game.
All right, let's flip the script now. The late game today, AB, is in the American League. The Guardians, they win the last 2 to advance. The Yankees got it done in workmanlike fashion over the Kansas City Royals. 7.5. I've already played the under. The Yankees heavy favorites here in Game 1. Carlos Rondon on the mound tonight. I think it's going to be a tight, nervously played game for both teams today. Your thoughts?
So the reason why you see the Yankees heavily favored, obviously they're playing at home, but let me just give you some numbers here of historicals of Yankees hitters against Guardian starter Alex Cobb and home runs. Gleyber Torres has 2. Juan Soto has 2. Giancarlo Stanton has 1. Aaron Judge has 1. All right, keep going down the list. The Yankees stars have gotten after Alex Cobb. Now that's all time, right? Doesn't mean a ton, but it does mean something. And you see the Guardians, they don't necessarily have that on the other side. So, yeah, anybody that's betting the Yankees today, I get it. I totally get it.
It feels like the Yankees, Raphael, should be the favorite, but it's a branding thing. It's a branding thing. They got Giancarlo and Judge, but certainly in this series, I could see it 4-0, and they get the hell out of the Guardians have not hit at all.
No, and I would maybe take a shot at the Yankees run line, get the plus money, though I wouldn't lay that big wood of minus 150, take a shot at the run line and get that plus money. But AB is correct. I mean, those bats are probably going to wake up and hit Cobb earlier. And whoever played the under, someone on the show, I'm not going to mention their names, I would be worried because I think this game goes over just because of the Yankees bats against Cobb. And I do think the Cleveland's will probably want to play small ball, maybe try to push a run over and see if the Yankees can play from behind. That's why I like the total going over tonight.
There's so many different ways that you can bet this. TJ says Rodon is only good once or twice, never good after 5 innings, meaning only through the lineup once or twice. So that's sometimes the first 5 can certainly be a play. And I just think that runs are going to be at a premium today. And I would wait until the game starts to see if you hit that early one. And don't forget, 4 p.m. Eastern time, we replay. So if Tell your friends. If they don't catch us in the morning, you still catch us. Get ready for that late baseball game. Still to come, it's time to educate and entertain. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's DTL live on Stadium. We're back. All right, all of you OGs out there on our YouTube page, we continue on. And AB, I'm all for a little preseason chip on your shoulder. And we just had a big trade. Randall DiVincenzo going from the Knicks to Minnesota. Not everybody likes getting traded. And yesterday, DiVincenzo barking at Tibbs, and we got the audio, but then he says, I didn't say anything. Are you here for a little preseason dust-up, if you will?
Tibbs he's a tough coach to play for, man. He practices your ass hard. There's nothing soft about it, right? But DiVincenzo's that type of guy too. Look, I don't take much into it. To be honest with you, I actually kind of like it because it means that both of them care. Now, I'm not saying that it's the best way to go about it, but what the worst way is apathy when nobody's saying anything to anybody and you're just walking away like, who cares, whatever. I could deal with two people chirping at each other because that means that they both care. They'll figure it out, right? Like, I don't hate it too much. Like, it's part of it. Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah. Because it's not always, you're not always going to get along, certainly, Charles, when you get traded to a team that you're playing on the court. And DiVincenzo has proven, I think he liked playing with all of his dudes from Villanova, to be honest. I think he liked playing in New York.
Oh, yeah, he loved playing in New York, around that region, played close to at Villanova. So, yeah, I'm sure he didn't want to leave. But, I mean, it's not like going to Minnesota is a bad spot to land. They're a good team up on the rise. They were in the finals last season in the Western Conference. So, I don't think it's a bad landing spot. But, yeah, we always want to see that they care. But, yeah, if anything, the NBA could get a little spotlight. You know, everything's on the NFL, college football. So, any spotlight on the NBA, they'll take it also. So, I'm happy to see he cares. It's part of the deal. He knows it's been traded I don't know how many times. He knows what comes with it being in the league. I think just be happy being in the league. Be happy you're going to a winning team and leave it at that.
All right, so we'll see how it plays out in the regular season. But I'll take a little chippiness in October. I'll take a little chippiness in November. I like it. All right, still to come. We've got another half of the show. We're crossing the bottom of the hour for all of you newies coming in. Welcome to DTL. We're back on Stadium in 5 seconds. Welcome back to DTL on Stadium. We have crossed the bottom of the hour. Thank you all so very much. Wherever you consume us, at Amazon Prime, at YouTube TV, Roku TV, the Stadium app. My crew is everywhere across all of these platforms. And, of course, if you're watching on our YouTube page, hit that like button as you come in. All right, it's time to educate and entertain because we believe it's not always just about the picks. It's about becoming a smarter sports fan, so you can understand when maybe that topic comes up. And AB, we got to start with, unfortunately, an awful situation when we're talking about the Detroit Lions. A man who came out of the gates as a star, led the league in sacks, potentially a defensive player of the year candidate this year, has set the tone. Aiden Hutchinson, broken fibula, and it was one of those super ugly, like right in half, the leg dangling. I don't encourage anybody to go look at it on social media. It was ugly. But AB, the Lions have some decisions to make after they get over the emotion of losing the heartbeat of their defense.
That was brutal. And especially, you're right. I mean, that player, he's that good. I think that's part of why Dan Campbell kept the offense going last night, was to say, fellas, all right, we can't focus on this. It hurts. We'll address it later on when we can, but we have to keep going. And that was his message, and that's why the offense kept going. But I'll say this, man. Hutch is a leader. He's been a leader. And even though you'll miss him on the field, obviously, teams have rallied around things like this. And he'll be an injured player that is present. He won't be, at home and away from the team. Like, he'll be around him for sure. And his presence there, it'll make a big difference, man. They'll rally around him.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, his dad, who's also a great player, they're Michigan guys. I mean, they played, 45 minutes from the stadium. This is who they are. And there's a doctor that I follow on social media that whenever there's a a devastating injury in the world of sports, he'll always put up a video and he'll talk about what the recovery is. And Raphael, this doctor said basically he's probably going to have to get a rod in his leg, which eventually will hurt his mobility. But eventually he will come back from this. It's a broken bone. It just looks much, much nastier than what it ultimately could be as far as being career ending. He'll be back, but it's certainly not going to be this season.
No, he won't be back. He's got youth on his side, so that's what he'll have a speedy recovery. We've seen these athletes now these days come back from injuries quicker than anything is possible. But I'm a little bit shocked that some books still had him in the futures for Defensive Player of the Year. Come on, that is the most disrespectful thing to the betting public. Take his name out of there right now as I speak. That is most disrespectful because he's not going to win it. You're just money grabbing. That is awful if you still have it up on your futures. I just wanted to rant on that because I saw 2 books have it this morning that made me sick to my stomach. But get well soon. He's going to be on there. He's going to be on a headset in a booth or somewhere in the game. He's such a great leader.
Yeah, and that's the thing nowadays. I mean, UNAB make great points that the last thing he wants to do is go sit on his couch at home and just watch his team or hear about practice. He wants to be in the mix. And I think he was going to be a football guy when he's done playing anyway. So I could see him coaching, being a commentator, whatever. So maybe he can start practicing right now, Charles, as he kind of gets and looks at the game from a different perspective.
Oh, absolutely. Any opportunity to get better as a player, I'm sure he'll soak it up. And then this one kind of takes me back to Nick Chubb getting hurt last season. That was a gruesome one also. We see he's coming back. So, we hate to see injuries, and this will probably be another case study of why you get all your money up front. To go in case anything like this was to happen. So that'll be in their corner. But yeah, I'm sure he'll soak up as much knowledge in the film room as possible, be an inspiration to the team, and then hopefully come back better than ever next season.
No, we certainly hope so. Shout out to them. We'll see if the Lions make any moves. Let's see if they have any trades. They have a meeting this week. Could be game of the week. They're taking on the Minnesota Vikings. It's a division game, and the Vikings are one of the last 2 undefeated teams in the league, and that game is in Minnesota. Now, AB, more health news on Sunday. Start of the game, Chargers come out of the blocks. They just blew the doors off the Broncos. They looked awesome. But the story was Jim Harbaugh, as he walked off the field, and then later he came back and he admitted after the game that he had a heart arrhythmia. And apparently this is not the first time that this has happened, all the way back in 2012. But why would he come back to coach if you have any hesitation whatsoever with a heart issue?
Welcome to the Harbaugh family. Look, all Jim Harbaugh knows is football, man. Look at their dad. Dude, Jack Harbaugh's the biggest hard ass of them all. Like, that's what this family is. We always talk about, like, the Gronk family and all that. Like, they're fun and playing around and drinking milk and roughhousing. The Harbaughs are out fist fighting in the front yard, dude. Like, his family takes football seriously, and Jim does more than anybody. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I can't, say what you shouldn't do, but did surprise me coming back. Like, that's who this dude is. I would not want to fight Jim Harbaugh. You would have to eliminate Jim Harbaugh.
I agree. And Tony in the chat said he's 2-0 with heart conditions.
Yeah,
and sometimes you got to laugh so you don't cry. I mean, and this is the love of the game, Raphael. This is the Harbaughs have lived this life, and he's the only, I can't remember the exact stat, but the only coach, basically he's the reigning national championship head coach, and now he's in the NFL and gotten off to a decent start, and the team's playing well. But this is a much bigger issue, and I don't know if the NFL can step in or whatever, but yesterday was kind of scary to watch him walk off, hear what it was, have him walk back on, and continue to coach the rest of the game.
I'm going to stick up for him because he had an arterial flutter. That's what it was called. I have them all the time. I probably had a couple of them sitting here talking to you guys. It's normal. You know when it's a high risk and you know when it's a low risk. He probably just went back there. They checked to see if maybe he was an okay for a heart rhythm, make sure he wasn't an AFib or anything. He probably wasn't. They put him back up there. I'm going to stick up for him because I can guarantee if he's had these before, he knows what's worse and he knows what's bad. So yesterday probably just had a little one. He would get it checked out and then came back. So I'm going to stick up for him because I can guarantee you he knows when he should not come back and when he should come back.
Yeah, I know you've had heart issues. Everybody that watches the show, you guys know my dad 6 years ago had a heart transplant, which is even another level of of worry, of all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure at some point his family has weighed in on this whole situation. So we'll see moving forward. But certainly prayers out not only to Hutchinson, but also to the Harbaugh family. Now, we've made some history, AB. We have history in college football. For the first time since 1960, Navy and Army are both ranked teams as this crazy football season continues. So it begs the question, with 12 playoff teams, could we potentially, I don't know, see a service academy in the playoffs this year? Crazy?
It would be awesome. Now, the brutal part would be what they would do is they would actually put both of them in and have them play each other, right? Like it would be some kind of move like that, right? But I mean, these teams are legit. Army's out here just laying tune-ups on folks, man. And what's coming, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. I love it, man. It's fun for sure.
It really is. And yeah, Army is normally that team, Charles, that run, under. I looked on, they're playing East Carolina this week, 6-0. They're ranked 23rd. The home game, it's going to be a noon game, so I guarantee it's on some network now. I think it's a really good thing when the Naval Academies are good. We just don't see it. And to be good at the same time, and they're favored by 17 on the number, 51.5. I think this is pretty cool.
Absolutely, it's cool. With two armed forces in the top 25, then they just put up 44. You think I was always leery of big spreads when it come to armed forces, armed service teams, because they generally run the ball, so it's kind of harder for them to cover them. But they're covering these large spreads. They're not only just running it, they're passing the ball also. They're exciting to watch. So yeah, nothing better than seeing two armed force teams in the top 25. Yeah, it's definitely exciting.
Shout out to Edson. He says, laying tune-ups. I ain't never heard that before. Well, you haven't watched DTL before.
Every time when I was a kid, every time that I got in trouble or my report card was bad, my dad every time would say, get outside, I'm finna tune you up.
So every day you got tuned up then back in?
Every day. Look, and this dude, no. This dude he was a QB at Memphis State. Like, this dude was no joke. He was left-handed too. So you had to, it made me better at the plate because I learned how to duck and dodge left-handed pitching coming from.
Hey, growing up, when we grew up, it's a different time. It's a different time. You become tougher, though, too. You become tougher. Navy, Raphael. We've talked about Army. And is it coincidence? Is it irony? I don't know. But their spread is the exact same number as the Army game. They're hosting Charlotte. They're 5-0. This game's going to be on CBS Sports Network. They're laying 17. The total is 55.5. Right now, you always dig into the numbers, 23 and 25. Which one do you think is better right now?
Oh, Army's better because Army's got two-headed monsters. They're passing the board. Navy, they're still run first. But I just love this Army team. But Navy, they'll probably cover. Both teams are probably going to come in next week. We'll be talking about it 7-0. Army is 6-0 and 6-0 against the spread. So maybe Army just means more. I just like this Army team that they can pass the ball. They can get into the playoffs. Navy, I think they get one loss.
Okay. We got about a minute left. Yeah, go ahead, AB.
No, I was going to say, look. I mean, we get Army Navy at the end of the year. If Navy's going to take Army out of the playoff, right? If Army's undefeated, dude,
that's gonna be. It's not just the SEC, right? And now it's not just the SEC that's taking each other out.
Dude, that would be an awesome game.
Can you imagine if it matters? I mean, it always matters, but if it really mattered for the playoffs in December, wow.
Army be favorite. Army be a small favorite, probably like a 2 or 3.
You think so?
Yeah.
Think so? I wonder what that total would be.
Just send that game film to Iraq, Desert Storm. Let's go.
We got to play the over-under on how many shots of the uniformed soldiers overseas they would show in that game.
Oh, yeah.
20, 30 at least. I've been to the big – I don't think it exists anymore, but I've been to the big base in Afghanistan where they held all the big captives and stuff, and we actually saw 10 feet away from us. It was very emotional. But they have cable over there. They have Wi-Fi over there. They've got McDonald's on the base. So in the middle of the desert, it amazed me. But we were there. I actually wrestled Ric Flair in Afghanistan on the first trip. So a lot of things happen over there. We'll see if they watch it this year. All right, good show so far today. A lot of good different topics. But when we come back, we start to look ahead to Monday Night Football, the Bills and the Jets. And for those of you who weren't here at the top of the show, we got you covered too. It is DTL on a Monday, live on Stadium. All right, all you degenerates out there, we continue on our YouTube page. And AB, a lot of people are saying that the NFC North is the best division in football right now. You've got the Vikings undefeated. You've got the Lions looking fantastic. You have the Packers who blew out the Cardinals. And then you've got the Bears who blew out the Jags in London. Everybody is playing great. Who do you think is the best NFC North team right now?
The Lions. It's tough to take it away from. My God, I mean, the Packers are playing great. And how do we hate on the Vikings? And the Bears are getting better. Like, I agree. If I had to pick one team through the whole year, I'd ride with the Lions. All right, but that is not a slight to anyone else. But I mean, Detroit's they're legit. They're legit.
I wonder, Raphael, and you're our numbers guy. I don't even know if it's mathematically possible for 4 teams. I think it'd be impossible for all 4 teams to make the playoffs, but they're certainly playing like playoff teams right now. All 4 of them.
I think there's a way. I don't have it in front of me, but I would, if you're an NFL, put them all in because they're playing the best football right now. My answer is Skull. I mean, this team keeps on just impressing me week after week. I still can't believe that they're impressing me week after week. So I like Minnesota, but this Bears team, Caleb Williams is getting better, and that offensive line is getting healthier and healthier. This Bears team is going to be a force throughout the whole season, so I wouldn't want to play them to either.
Yeah, AB, go.
I will gladly speak for everyone here in the Southeast that they can have our AFC South spot. Like, the Texans will be in, and then yeah.
What, Titans? No.
Colts?
No Joe Flacco? No Joe Flacco?
They can have it. The Texans and then somebody from there.
Charles, I got about 15 seconds, bud.
Yeah, I would have said the Lions, but that Hutchinson injury is devastating. So we'll see how that if that lingers. But I kind of like the Packers going forward.
All right, they looked really good yesterday. Kyler Murray, as I keep saying, quit again. How do you fumble handing off from the shotgun? It's embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. But the over still hit, so we like that as well. All right, we are back on Stadium, having a great, fun morning in just 5 seconds. All right, welcome back. We are live on Stadium today, Amazon Prime, Roku TV, YouTube TV. Also, if you missed the morning show, tell your friends if they missed the morning show. We start the afternoon block at 4 p.m. Eastern time and then live at 7 p.m. Eastern time as well. We're counting down to this tonight, AB. It's a big, as crazy as it sounds to say, it's true. This is for first place in the AFC East. And this number has moved all over the place. The Bills now favored by 1. That could be different at 4 o'clock today. The total at 40.5. Both quarterbacks not even close to 100%. What's your initial Monday morning look?
You're going to see max protect on the offensive line from both teams. You're going to see tight ends in and chipping. So if you're looking at prop plays, short passes, running the ball. All right, control it and keep your quarterback safe. That's what you're going to see. Screams under to me.
Yeah, and you'll see one of AB's plays in the whip around that reflects that short passing game as well. Raphael, I saw somebody in the chat said that Shakir numbers are off the board right now because of his ankle issue. When books don't know one way or another, but the player has not yet been ruled out, how do they handle that sort of thing?
Just take them off the board, especially the way the books got booty whipped last night or yesterday. We're going to be very cautious today so they're not to get so much money back today. But I would be shocked if they put him up maybe an hour before the game, unless for some reason he comes out and says he's playing.
Okay, very, very good. Charles, obviously these are 2 stud quarterbacks, but Aaron Rodgers in London, all the Vikings had to do was just get out of the way because he was throwing it to the other team. So now they have a new head coach. He's got to be feeling the pressure. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how much he's done. I don't care that he went on Pat McAfee and said, I resent the fact that people think that I had something to do with it. We all know that he had something to do with it. So now it's all on his shoulders to get it done tonight, and he's a very, very slight underdog.
Yeah, being an underdog at home, I think is a perfect spot. New coach bounce, so I think that they'll try to limit his throwing. I think we're going to see a heavy run game. That's why I like the under also. So, yeah, I think they're going to try to mix it up more defense. I know the Salah was a defensive-oriented coach, but this one is also. So everything playing into part. So I definitely like the Jets in this spot. So I think they're going to try to limit him, more lean on the run game because they have a two-headed monster back there. So, yeah, definitely think lower scoring and a more adjusted run game in this one.
AB, go.
Yeah, human nature. All right, think about this. When coaches, assistant coaches, coordinators, when they take over as the head coach, imagine it were you, okay? How would you go about it in your first week on a short week? You go with what you know, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Defensive coordinator, focus on defense because that's what he knows. So, yeah, remember that.
I love that. And I love that nugget. Also, Raphael, I saw that you just put in the chat, wait on the under. All of you guys are on the under. Certainly Charles and AB are. You could see that go up, in your opinion, yes?
Yeah, it's moved a half a point since we've been on the air, and two shops have 41 minus 120 on the over. So we could see 41.5 just because of the way the overs went. The overs went 9-3-1 yesterday.
9-3-1. I think, Charles, it was you on the morning show. Didn't you say that you thought we would see a lot of points across the league?
We would see some of them overs come in. It just been so many unders catching. So, yeah, it looked like an overs day, and lo and behold.
Yeah, some of the teams did it basically by themselves. Will we see that tonight on the same field that the Giants last night managed 7 points and their field goal kicker missed 2? When you're going for that 2 in the last 2 minutes and you settle for the field goal so you can try to, and you miss, that's like the most deflating thing that you could possibly do. And if you're that kicker, oh my goodness. But 2 kicks to the left. How about we aim to the right just a little bit? All right, good analysis again. We are live for a full hour tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time right here on Stadium to get you set for the Bills and the Jets. But I know a lot of you, because I see the number, it's a great live number today. We're not here at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We got you covered, a little something we like to call the whip around. Real quick, thank you, Aaron. He says, Coach, it is now 41.5 at FanDuel, so it's doing exactly what Raphael said it is going to do. AB, let's start with your 2 plays today. You got 1 in baseball and 1 in Monday Night Football. Let's go.
Mets Dodgers over 8, going to be a really fun day game today. And then Aaron Rodgers over 21.5 completions. Like we said, max protect leads to max passing around under 5 yards. So take that over 21.5 comps.
Yeah, last week 54 attempts, so they don't mind calling some pass plays tonight. I think to AB's point, a lot of short pass plays. And I'll go next because I think a lot of those short pass plays are going to go to Garrett Wilson. That's why I like his receptions and his yards tonight. They really have nobody else. Last week he had 13 for well over 100 yards. So if the Bills are winning, which I expect tonight, then that means that Aaron Rodgers is going to have to throw, which means he's got to complete the ball. So AB cashes, and we will cash. He's going to find this dude is a beast, an absolute beast. Now, Josh Allen, under 18.5 completions. You're like, Coach, that's not even 20. The last 2 weeks, he hasn't even come close. This guy is not playing good football. I don't think he's healthy, and I think he goes under 18.5 completions tonight. All right, Charles, I'll do my last 2 in a second. Charles, come over to you. I need all 4. Explain yourself.
Nations League, Bosnia versus Hungary. Bosnia at home games are averaging 3.5 total goals this season, and Hungary 2.5 on the road. Go ahead and give me the both teams to score, and Bosnia first half team total over half a goal. I think they get on the scoreboard early. Next up, Belgium versus France. Belgium home games are averaging 2 team goals, and France 1.2 away from home. We missed the both teams to score the last time he played. We're back at again. I see 1-1 at worst. Lastly, Juan Soto hits, runs, and RBIs over 1.5. He's owned. Alex Cobb 7 for 11 lifetime, 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. I expect him to go ahead and cash this over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for us.
Very good. 3, Raphael, from 3 different situations. Let's call that. You're up.
We're going to CFL, which game starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon. The Alouettes -4 against the Ottawa Blackhawks to get this number now, because it's probably going to be bet upwards. Guardians team total over 3.5. I just think they're going to push some runs over, try to get them to get the Yankees to play from behind. And then give me a kicker prop, Taylor Bass over 6.5 kicking points, -130.
I mean, it's not the same as Bill, but we'll take it. We'll take it. If it cashes, we'll take it. And my last two plays from baseball, I think the Dodgers roll tonight on the money line. Yeah, it's a little juicy, but sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze at -150, and tonight is one of those nights. If you want to parlay it up with AB's over, don't mind that too. Big Cheesy is doing that. And then I think in New York, it's going to be a very, very fast game, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of runs. Neither team has scored a lot in the playoffs. I don't think they do tonight, so we go under 7.5 Guardians-Yankees, the late game in baseball. All right, we end every single show with our stat of the day, courtesy of our man, Rafael Esparza. Where are we going today with the stat, Rafael?
We're going to the NFL, and I always say to this, numbers never lie. The NFC North is 17-5, best record in any division through week 6. This is record better than anything that happened since 1960.
1960?
Yep.
So 64 years, AB. This is the best record any division, or just the NFC North or any division?
Any division.
Wow. Your thoughts, AB? This is crazy.
It's pretty good. We've seen some divisions across the NFL that are great. I mean, that's a hell of a stat.
It really is. And it all kind of has to fall exactly, Charles, the exact right way to be able to have even records like this.
Exactly. And this was probably one of the top 2 or 3 leagues I thought I knew it'd be competitive, but I didn't expect each team to be this good. So it's happy to see that. So yeah, imagine if they could all get into the playoffs, if we could find some scenario for that.
Quick 20 seconds, AB, go.
Yeah, I was just going to say real quick, in New York, all right, there's no wind in Mets-Dodgers. New York starts the game, 17 miles an hour wind blowing out to right field, and will be 15 miles an hour throughout the game tonight. Right there to the short court.
I love that people are asking. We make them smarter, AB. All of you, AB, Charles, and Raphael. It's what we do. What did the crew choose today?
All right, they're all over the Bills. Now, we've got the Bills -1. We also have the Bills +1 because you're going to see the books moving it today, but the crew is going with the Bills, feeling it.
All right, very, very good. Great first hour, getting your day started. There's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all these Monday tickets straight to the pay window. My Tiger, Lamont, Big Chuck, Raphael, AB, producer man. I am the coach. We grind for you so we can win with you. We'll see you back at 4 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Eastern. We dominate. It's DTL, always on Stadium. Good luck. Take care.